DA says President Vladimir Putin is no friend of South Africa as Ramaphosa calls for global solidarity at the BRICS Summit. Hello, my name is Reneilwe Morema and I am your host right here on the African Diaspora News channel. I'm reporting live from Johannesburg, South Africa.
We're also delighted to be here to brief you and others of the journey that we have embarked upon as South Africa. We've formed a government of national unity following our elections in May of this year. So we will have time, as I briefed you on the telephone, but we will have time to talk more about that and inform you how that whole process of governing South Africa with a number of other parties is evolving as we have sought to unite the country, to stabilize the country politically, and we're rather pleased that with your support in every respect we've been able to reach this point in the history of our country. So we continue to see Russia as a valued ally, as a valued friend who supported us right from the beginning, from the days of our struggle against apartheid right through to now.
President Cyril Ramaphosa used his address at the 16th BRICS Summit in Russia to call for global solidarity, UN Security Council reform, and to condemn Israelis' escalating violence in Gaza. Speaking on Wednesday during the open plenary session alongside BRICS leaders, including Russian President Vladimir Putin, Ramaphosa emphasized the importance of cooperation within the newly expanded bloc to build a fairer and more peaceful world. However, his remarks have stirred domestic controversy, with DA leader John Steenhusien distancing his party from the president's recent comments about Russia being a valuable ally and friend of South Africa. During bilateral discussions with Putin on Tuesday, Ramaphosa referred to Russia as an important ally, a statement the DA, which is part of the Government of National Unity, by the way, strongly opposed what Ramaphosa said. Steenhusien, also serving as Minister of Agriculture, condemned that characterization. In a statement he released online, he says the DA does not consider Russia or Vladimir Putin to be an ally of our nation. He warned that such statements could jeopardize South Africa's international relations and trade opportunities at a time where the country is experiencing renowned economic optimism. Steenhusien stressed the need for greater debate within the GNU, as I've mentioned before. Ramaphosa could make such pronouncement on such foreign policy positions. First of all, the DA is using social media to fight its battles and to corner the president into dancing to the beat of their drum. This Twitter status or statement by the DA was posted while the president was still at the BRICS Summit. Not only are you embarrassing him in front of his peers who already have reservations about him, but you are letting it known that the GNU is really not united, but we are a divided state. How can our international friends trust us when you release such reckless statements? That illiterate boy Steenhusien violated all forms of diplomatic etiquette with a reckless and partisan statement that may jeopardize our trade relations with a historical ally. The hypocrisy of the DA and its supporters, particularly the white South Africans, is very much abnormal. On one hand, they criticize Ramaphosa for calling President Vladimir Putin our valued friend and ally, yet they turn a blind eye on the DA's support for America's involvement in Israel's actions against Palestinians. And to make matters worse, they have invited the same America that is funding Israelis' atrocious acts to observe South Africa's elections. The Zionist DA's unwavering support for Israel is particularly alarming, considering our country's own history of apartheid and human rights violation. The media's silence on the DA's support for America's action in Israel is very much deafening. This makes it clear that the media is white-owned, first of all, and it is here to serve and protect the interests of white supremacists. But then again, the ANC deserves this kind of treatment from the DA. It deserves this treatment and embarrassment from the DA. That is what you get, basically, for putting an illiterate moron as a minister. Not only did DA jeopardize the negotiations that is happening in BRICS, he spat in Cyril Ramaphosa's face. He spat in the BRICS allies. This whole debacle shows the entitlement the white people have. How can you release such statements without getting consent from the GNU counterparts? How can you bypass an entire president and say South Africa is distancing itself from Putin and the BRICS nation?
ICC, Putin is welcomed here. And no one is going to arrest Putin. If needs be, we'll go and fetch Putin from the airport to his meeting. He will finish all his meetings. We'll take him back to the airport. We're not going to be told by these hypocrites of the International Criminal Court who know the real violators of human rights, who know the murderers of this world. We know very well where the US says we are going in to install peace. That place will never know peace as long as America has visited that place. President Putin is welcomed. We know our friends. We know the people who liberated us. We know the people who supported us. In Kuto-Konaval, the weapons that were used in Kuto-Konaval that led to the liberation of South Africa were coming from Russia.
I always say education is not the only key to success, but it will make you civilized. If you look at Vygotsky's cognitive development theory, it says cognitive development occurs because of social interactions. This way, learning is innately collaborative. Social negotiation is essential for building knowledge and understanding concepts. The external forces like the environment can contribute to your internal forces, your personality. And Steenhusien is a high school dropout. He didn't go to college to experience different people and cultures and background, and just to learn learning and just to learn to collaborate with people. He is where he is because of his privileged skin. His skin continues to be a license to power. He was raised to flex his entitlement muscle. His external forces were people who told him how great he was, how much of an untouchable person he was, and that formed his personality. His external forces influenced his internal forces, his personality. As I've mentioned, that Vygotsky says the environment has power to influence your internal forces. Today, he feels entitled to bypass the president and release stupid illiterate statements. Today, he feels like he can run the entire GNU. Today, he feels like he can pick and choose South Africa's international allies. The DA, all of them, they are entitled, privileged pricks. So, ladies and gentlemen, go to college, experience people and the different cultures and backgrounds, develop your cognitive thinking, be influenced by strong external environmental forces so they can shape you into a better person, so they can shape your internal forces and your personalities, so that you can avoid speaking out of your butt like that boy Steenhusien. What do you think about this segment? Comment to us in the comment section below. Don't forget to like and share the broadcast. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. Hit that notification bell so you don't miss these groundbreaking conversations right here on the African Diaspora News Channel.
Introducing the African Diaspora News Channel app, your gateway to stories that's overlooked by the corporate mainstream media.
And we serve as the voice to the Truval Black community.
Here we got Dr. Candace Matthews.
A lot of these documents, looking at.
We are committed to informing and educating through the power of media.
This country is supposed to be about the land of the free for all. It has not been free for black people, and we are tired.
With our platform, we're helping to end injustice by exposing it.
Join us in standing for excellence in journalism and serving our community. Download the African Diaspora News app today.